Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK radio network.
Look, here's the situation. A lot of these things turn out to be misidentifications or hoaxes or delusions, but some aren't.
This is William Pullen, and you're listening to the Paranormal UK Radio Network, the UK's biggest paranormal network. And this is Paranormal Dimensions with David Young.
Hello, welcome to another show. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for that intro, William. That's William Pullen from the US. Right, now today I've got another great guest, but just before I go into that, I thought I'd once again give my email address out if anyone wants to get in touch with me about any shows or any comments about the shows. It's David Young 2qn@yahoo.co.uk. I'll just repeat that. David Young 2qn@yahoo.co.uk. And also, don't forget, there's a Facebook Paranormal Dimensions page if you care to visit on Facebook, of course. Right, joining me to go. Oh wait, who's that laughing at the back?
You know it is.
Anyway, as you just heard, Juliette Gregson is going to be joining me again today to have a chat with the guest. And looking forward to that. So no doubt there'll be a few giggles along the way.
Thank you.
And we've got Andi Ramsden today. He's a good friend of Paul Sinclair, who's going to be the guest for next week. So hopefully that will be a nice run up to that, and we'll hear a few stories about Andi Ramsden's own experiences, as well as probably a few connections with Paul. So, you ready to go, Juliette? Or you got anything to say before we kick off?
Thank you as always, and really looking forward to this one, and hopefully learn some fantastic and new things as well for me.
Because I did ask you, I wasn't sure if you knew Andy or not. You've heard of him, obviously.
Yes.
But you didn't actually know him, so this will be a nice thing for you. So you'll be able to have a chat with somebody that you've heard of, and you'll get to know them as well. Right, let's get Andy on. He's waiting in the wings. Hi Andy, welcome to the show.
Hi David, thanks for having me on.
Oh, that's all right, it's a great pleasure, mate. And obviously I've just told you that Juliette's joining us today, and no doubt she'll shut me up if she wants to get a few words in.
No problem.
I'll let you into a little secret. She told me off last time because when she was on, because you couldn't get a word in, could you, Julie?
Yes, but it wasn't you, Mr. Young of Sir. It was somebody else being a little bit rude. But because I'm polite, I don't actually diss people on things like this. But trust me, you will get told. Anyway,
it was going a bit all over the place. It was a laugh, but it was going off all over the place. But
yeah.
Hopefully,
anyway,
we'll have a bit more control over this one.
Oh yes, we have a marvellous guest today.
Normally when I go on like shows like I've been on before and they've said, just stick to UFOs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, we can go off a little bit on a tangent if you like. I normally do somehow. But anyway, Andy, tell us about your experiences. I know you're a good mate of Paul Sinclair's, who's coming on next week. But you've had your own experiences, haven't you, separate to Paul's?
Oh, most definitely, yeah. Well, for me, really, it started, when I was a little kid. Strangeness just happening all the time, from vivid, lucid dreams and gold dust running around edge of windows and strange paranormal things. When I've lived in every house I've ever lived in, it's been haunted, to be fair. So there's definitely some kind of odd frequency associated with me, or it lets me and just see stuff for what it is. I suppose that's why I carry on as much as I do, because I just can't help it. But yeah, when I was a young'un, I'd seen like red and blue lights in the sky, when you're just playing football with your mates, and I'm not joking, I've had that many experiences with paranormal and UFOs, it's hard to remember them all. But it's just, things just go crazy like me. Like say for instance, my sister's just same as me. She's got memories of being a kid and seeing herself sat on the opposite wall, if you know what I mean. That's how it's been one of them strange lives. My mum had a them crying boys. We had them, what used to set houses on fire and all sorts. Yeah, but I suppose that's why I'm a bit. Life's just been really strange for me, all my life, to be fair.
So what was your actual? What's the earliest you could actually remember?
Seeing that gold dust and seeing shadow people in corners, like 6 and 7 and stuff like that. Yeah,
because back then you wouldn't have known, you wouldn't have been told about shadow people or anything, would you? So
no idea. But what had happened is, relating to that shadow people, person or entity. Have you seen that film, The Haunted?
Yeah.
When that woman thinks someone was swearing in the next room and that black thing comes through when she's ironing, that's just what it looked like in the corner. And I wrote in my little, Monday diary for school that what I'd seen before we'd moved, and I drew a picture of it and I rung my mum, and we're only a little and asking her about it, and she says, see, my mum's always in houses and all sorts. We live near Sarah, Harper and everything, life's just been strange from beginning right up until now. But yeah, I've seen like them blue and red lights when we were playing on the field. I've seen like just out at corner, when you just catch it.
Yeah.
It could have been there for ages, but you just catch it where I like it. Say for instance, I was stood outside ATS with friends as a teenager, and I seen a black triangle just float across. And it didn't seem to bother everyone else, if you know what I mean, but it was right up my street. I was obsessed, I just watched it float across like it was, it looked like it didn't weigh now, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. Was it fairly large?
I'd say, yeah, it was large. It was like on the, when a summery evening and it's cloud, I'd say a football field high, and it was, you wouldn't have covered it with a 50p, if you'd have held it up. But no lights on it, no noise, no, just floated across. One, I'd say a prominent one, what always sticks in my mind is 20 on M62. I had someone were in a white Nissan Micra I used to have, and I were going from East Yorkshire to West Yorkshire, so I was going westbound on M62 near that Glasshouse Bridge. You know what goes across?
Yeah.
Near where Carcraft used to be. I don't know if you know.
I do.
Yeah. Well, I seen a flash of light. Say 11 o'clock from where I was driving. Okay. As soon as I'd seen it, it shot straight past me. And if I'd had my arm out at window, I could have touched it. And I could, in my mind's eye, it was there. Big 20-foot ball of light, and it clicked as it went past. Yeah, massive. Someone was there with me.
Wow.
A lot of it, you don't really need to prove it to anyone, do you? Because it's only your own perception of what you've seen.
Yeah.
So I see it as irrelevant if someone. Because I know with my eyeballs, if Elon Musk could get you a USB like he's trying, and he could see your thought, I'd have a field day with me.
Wow.
Yeah. I've seen when we lived in Skipsey, we lived in a static caravan. For strength.
So you faded out a bit then, Andy. Did you?
I must say, it's the powers that be trying to stop me talking.
Yeah, it could be.
I was going to just say that because it was like
you keep disappearing, don't you?
It's like, stop it!
You keep fading in and out. I don't know if we're getting some sort of alien interference here, but.
Oh, don't joke. I did it with Sasha Christie on her, on what is it, North East Paranormal Network, something like that. I can't remember. Top of my head. And we had to do it 3 times, because some.
He's gone again. Oh no.
How's that be? Let him speak.
Yeah, I think we'll just have to let you go and.
Can you hear me all right now?
Well, we can hear you now, yeah, but you do keep disappearing. But we just have to see what we can get out of it. Go on, keep going, Andy. Sorry.
So I were in Skipsy in a static caravan, and I had my torch out. Not my torch, none of my torch. A telescope looking at the moon. It was a summer evening, fluffy clouds. 2 football fields high maybe, like I was saying before. It's that kind of level, low level summer clouds when it's dark.
Yeah.
And there were breaks in the clouds because there were big fluffy ones everywhere. Looked like a satellite or an orb or whatever people say they are, Earthlights or whatever. It looked like one floating across, just a little white orb. And when it got into the gap of the clouds, I saw it shimmer. And it was a movie grade disc just float through clouds. I shouted my missus to come out, had a look, and we both watched it as it just silently floated off. Big disc. Oh, it must have been as big as 2 double-decker buses.
Wow.
Big. As wide as that. Oh, it was big. But it were high up, so it's difficult to judge the actual size of it, but it shimmered as it went past, because I was speaking to my missus about maybe lights from the campsite had shimmered on it, but the more I thought about it, it was that high up, it couldn't have been the lights, but it was like a predator, only once for a split second, but I saw it, and as it floated off, it was more dark than the darkness, so you could see it moving. Yeah, crazy.
So do you think it could be sort of coming in and out of a different dimension or something like that?
Yeah, well, this East Coast is very, very strange, isn't it? Definitely unnatural, because it made me feel sick, as I'd seen it, and it was like a realisation of what I was looking at, and I felt. But I've had that feeling a few times, like stood up Bempton with Paul, and I felt sick through terror, because that's a frightening old place. What else have I seen? I once, when we lived in Bridlington, I stood up back door having a smoke like you do, because wife won't let me smoke in house because we've got kids, and I looked across to like Muston area, like if you were going like York direction.
Yeah.
It looked like a 10-pin bowling ball, just floating through sky, and then something dropped out at the bottom of it. Not a 10-pin bowling ball, a 10-pin bowling pin, black on the bottom of it and white on top of it, that kind of shit going forward, and it like dropped this little thing out of it, and that shot off the opposite direction. But people say, it could have been it could have been this, it could have been. But when you're looking at it and there's no other explanation for it, it's it just baffles you.
Yeah. I mean, we do hear those stories, don't they, about the smaller craft coming out of the bigger craft.
Yeah.
Quite often. It's the same as like you mentioned the shadow people. You do hear those stories quite a bit, don't you? What was that?
I heard that as well.
Yeah, what was that? It sounded like someone coming through on the mic, didn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Did you hear that, Julie?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yes, Felicity.
Oh, sorry, not Julie. I've done it again, haven't I? Jules.
David, you'll never get my name right, sweetheart. Oh, dear.
Sorry, I was thinking about the sound, not you. Anyway, yeah, sorry about that. I don't know if you all heard that out there, but there was a funny sound coming through on the microphone. Don't know where it came from. But anyway.
I think Andy's right. There's something that hinders him if he does things like this, and it's like almost like they've got a red button and they're muting him when he gets really interested.
Yeah.
And we're like, stop it.
Well, the funny thing is, you know what? I've had a couple of guests tell me the same thing in the past about they do get a lot of electrical what do you call it? Interference on their whatever they're doing. Sometimes they just interfere with electrical things. Like I had a couple of thoroughgoing shows that actually failed right to do them again because of that failure. Weirdly enough, but yeah. So you must be another one, Andy.
Sorry, David. Just say that again.
So you must be another one that get the interference on the. Do you get that? Do you get that with a lot of electrical things? Do things fail on you?
All the time. I've computers, laptops, everything just breaks.
Oh,
see,
right.
I'm an empath. It took me a long time to realise what that was, if you know.
He's gone again.
No, he's back.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm an empath, you know, a sensitive who knows what I mean. It took a long time for me to realise what that was. You know, I've got suffering from anxiety and all kinds of stuff, and it's not me what's upset, it's other people, and I get it off them. Like anything will choke me and upset me if someone, you know, say if you were here and someone had upset you, it'd choke me as well, if you know.
You pick it up on it, yeah.
Think of it like an emotional sponge.
Yeah.
An emotional wreck.
I mean, we can all pick up on senses. You know, you can go into a room and feel an atmosphere or something, but I think what you're talking about is actually more so, isn't it? It's
more intense. Yeah. It's even like X Factor or something with even a little bit of emotion in it. It just chokes me and renders me powerless. Yeah, it's I get quite easy and well, I don't understand like, but you know, I sense it off. Even EastEnders, if someone, I know people cry at soaps, and I don't really, but yeah, I can feel it. Like when my missus, her grandma's just died, and it's not really my family or the Heartless like, but I could feel it off of Katie.
Right.
You know, the emotion off her.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to explain how it makes how it feels, if you know what I mean. And yeah. And
obviously this year, with all this COVID stuff going on, it's all been very emotional for all of us, isn't it? I reckon you've been picking it up quite badly this year.
Oh, most definitely. Do you know, I've been into conspiracies and UFOs most of my life. Oh, that one day you'd be able to say, I told you so. Even like, you know, like them free traps, what the Pentagon says they've got, but no one said no else about it. There's no pictures, there's no nothing like that, if you know what I mean. But it's just, this year, I've never known, like, I knew it were going to, like we all did, we all knew it were going to come to this new world order point, didn't we, at some point.
Yeah. Well, I didn't think it would be in my lifetime. I thought it would be sort of later on, but.
Yeah, but it's ramped up, hasn't it? Like, do you know, like that conspiracy with, I say conspiracy, I'm not a conspiracy theorist anymore, me, I'm, what's the word?
A conspiracy knower.
No, I'm a coincidence theorist.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
Yeah, oh yeah. Everything synchronizes, isn't it? Because it's all frequency and it's all emotional frequency and out.
Yeah.
It's life's just bizarre. It's all just far too bizarre.
Yeah. Yeah, it's certainly been a rough year this year, I must say, for everybody. And I think it's just, you know.
Yeah. It's the children I feel sorry for, because like my little ones, they know. You know, they see me talking about UFOs, they've seen my office, you know, everything's UFO and conspiracy in my house, if you know what I mean. So they do have a degree of knowledge to it. So I would imagine they'll take on board what I say, you know, like saying face masks is a load of crap and coronavirus ain't as bad as what they're saying, but the teachers are telling them that it is.
Yeah,
you know, they're making little kids watch like Sky News now.
I know, terrible, isn't it? I mean, I've got to say at this point, there's going to be people out there listening to this who really do believe you should be wearing masks and everything, and I respect that. There's a lot of people that have had fear shoved down their throat. You've got to respect that, Andy, haven't you? Because a lot of us, they don't see what we see, a lot of it, unless you actually go looking for it. And when you do go looking for it and you find it, it's amazing what is actually going on.
But, in 2010 when there was swine flu,
yeah,
and there were 56 million cases or something like that.
Yeah.
But there were no masks or not like that because nobody knew about the red shoes. And all of a sudden, since Weinstein's been arrested, and WikiLeaks brought it out, to be fair, but no one took a blind bit of notice until he got arrested. And then Epstein, he went, and it was like they were all singing songs on each other. Then she's been arrested. Yeah. Tom Hanks has moved to Greece because it's a disability. And Ricky Gervais just blew everything out.
He did, yeah, I remember that. Yeah, you could see the faces, couldn't you? The shock.
Yeah, when he said it, the camera went straight to Tom Hanks.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm still a bit unsure about this thing with Tom Hanks, but you do hear things. But I'm on the fence with that one at the moment until I actually really see something different for them.
What gets me with it is all these people that were meant to have been on his plane. Why don't they say, "Hold on a minute, this has not got naught to do with me," and fighting their own corner, but no one's saying no, and everyone knows they sell the devil the soul to the devil. So.
Well, that's it. I got to say, we never heard anyone coming out cheering, did they? About Epstein being arrested. So, unless anyone knows different. I haven't heard of anyone that was cheering that he got arrested.
I've had a thought. Obviously, forgive me for interrupting.
You're all right, Juliette.
Thank you, kindly. It's more an observation, jump in and see what you think. Everybody's watching Netflix, Amazon, etc., the streaming services, television a bit, but I've sort of picked up on there's more things about Illuminati and the collective, and I've been watching things and I'm thinking, is it me or is there more things being dropped into the television and the culture? What do you think?
Yeah, they're actually put it right in front of you, aren't they? As if to say, and basically, I think that's to say, it's all fiction.
Yeah, well, that's the magic of it, isn't it? If you've seen it, you've subconsciously accepted it because you've already seen it as in images of how it could be.
Don't worry, I've been accused of being the Illuminati. But there's no
you promised me you won't bring that up.
Good. Do you hold your trouser leg up? I'm a woman, we wear skirts.
I've been initiated into. I heard whispering. I've been initiated into a strange cult.
Strange cult, was that?
Really, yeah, strange. Yeah, through an individual that lives in Pilot. I won't need to say his name because if you know what I mean. But the chap's from Pilot, and he's.
I know who you mean.
Yeah.
I think I'll do anyway.
Yeah, you will do. there's not many. So I went down a strange path with him over Dragon Legion Templars and all kinds of weird stuff like that, and that were opposite the Mason Hall and all, where they were residing. I don't want to say too much because you don't want to get myself in trouble.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I've lost my train of thought now.
Illuminati. Sorry.
Yeah, I've got the First Testament of the Illuminati. That book what you can get, the Illuminatium.
Yeah.
And it speaks about the White Room. On this island, and on Epstein's island, that's a big white box. Bizarre. It's the world's right, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I don't know what's going to come out of all this in the end. This is supposed to be a big month for it all, isn't it? October. So I'm sort of waiting to see what's going to happen by the end of this month, and then we've got the Trump election coming up. or so I say the presidential election coming up.
It's all numbers, isn't it? All numerology, all you do it, all magic. Like look at Johnson when he put like the 6 days, the rule of 6.
Yeah, 6.
You know, like reversal. A 33-degree Mason gives you the rule of 6 on the 9th.
Yeah.
369. And even with Hillary Clinton, you know, the devil worshipping and stuff, she were in court on the 9th of the 9th at 9 o'clock. As above, so below, 666. I see all this shit, mate. I mean, I see all this stuff. I do apologise for my friend.
I'll see if I can bleep that out later. No, we do hear it on the telly anyway, so it could have been worse.
Yeah. True. So I like the Masonic. I like that history behind it. It's interesting.
Oh, it is interesting. I mean, because it all started off with the Knights Templar, didn't it? It really goes right back to that.
Not strictly speaking. Yes,
even before that. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Egyptians.
Yeah.
Egypt.
Yeah.
It goes back a lot.
That's what I mean, but it kind of ended up in the if you like, modern times where we understand it from the Knights Templar when they disappeared. That's the way I understand it anyway. Because they went underground and formed the Masons.
Yeah. When I was speaking to somebody about it, and they said, trying to get deep into Illuminati, what like people think they can, but really they can't. And he says to me, watch the gods of Egypt, and all the answers are in that.
On that subject, Andy, do you actually believe in the ancient alien theory?
As in, like the gods being aliens.
Well, yeah, or we were visited way back in the past, obviously, with aliens from either from extraterrestrials or maybe even interdimensional stuff. It could have been.
So we built the pyramids.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I'd go as far as to say they built the pyramids, but they may well have helped build the pyramids.
Yeah, possibly, yeah. I do believe in, like, because there's like lizard gods and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, there's so many of them, aren't there? There's so many of the reptilian gods, it's amazing.
Yeah, there's definitely something in that, the reptilian side of it, because you have a reptilian core in your brain, don't you?
Yeah.
So you're white, and it's all Newtonian measures, and I remember years ago, when Edge Media and Alex Jones were on with Prison Planet and stuff like that, and he was talking about like it's a draconian hive planet, and we're all here just for food and all stuff like that. You know what I mean? So who knows? It's bizarre. But you know what? I was bang on it all up until Christmas 2019, and then 2020 happened. Yeah. And look where we are now. Yeah. I mean, there's been murder on it, monkeys pinching vaccine, blood samples and stuff like that. Like 28 days later, and
I don't know if you remember, but at the end of 2019, a lot of people were saying they could feel that something big was coming, something big was going to happen.
Big.
Everyone had that feeling that something was sort of bubbling around. And of course, it happened, didn't it? I mean, and that was obviously what it was.
Yeah. Well, they knew it was coming, didn't it? Like, because I've took that many screenshots on my phone since March, I decided to, try and make a book over what had happened. A picture book for, like, next year. With my mate, Mikey Powells, he's big on Egypt, Mikey. He's been 8-9 times, and there's not a lot he doesn't know about it, if you know what I mean. But, in the January, February, it was just all ramping up for it, wasn't it? And there was that much stuff what were going on. If it just pulls them up, like what top 10 things what's happened in 2020, and like you've got murder on it. It says there, monkey stole COVID sample, and it's. Alex Jones said years ago that there's and that's exactly what's going on with this, isn't it? It's
you went blank there. What was that you said?
About Alex Jones was saying, like in early days, that there's a war on people's minds.
Oh, right, yeah.
For how there's that much, you're getting smashed with information now. Like
that's right. He had a thing called InfoWars, didn't he? Before that was taken down.
Yeah, Info. Yeah.
Because a bit like David Icke, he was sort of taken off the YouTube and everything, wasn't he?
Yeah, poor David.
Yeah.
And even Gareth and Jamie and everyone's on it now, though, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
But the most interesting guy out of it all, what's going on in 2020, is John Wedger. 100%. He's the guy what's gonna blow everyone's socks off, because he was ex-Vice Squad and everything, and he's telling people what's going on, behind closed doors with political elites, and it's
yeah, I think there's more. There's more and more coming out, aren't there? Now they're sort of there's I think people are seeing other people come out, and I think they're getting the courage to come out and say more.
Yeah. And it's questionable people, yeah. When she was doing that reverse EVP about that reptilian race pretending to be a demonic entity, what we're playing games with her and stuff like that, and she'd done it. She'd got to end of what she was, work everything out on that, and she says when these monsters are all found out, they'll be hung from lampposts. The things what's going on behind closed doors is unreal. Look like the church today.
Yeah.
I was very sorry. Feel very, very sorry for behaviour. And that'll be it. That you won't hear note about it because they've apologised.
Yeah.
I said sorry. They don't want to. Sorry. But even with all that adrenochrome and it's absolute nuts. I never expected any of this, from being a young'un and into conspiracies and UFOs, and then it turns out like this, and it's horrific.
Yeah.
It's worse than that, isn't it?
Yeah, and then when you actually look at that, and then you look at things in history and in books, even in the Bible, they talk about the blood of children and stuff like that. It's quite eye-opening and scary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's frightening. Absolutely frightening. But it's like this year's the big plan, isn't it, for Great Reset, I reckon. So it all just goes back to how they... Even Boris has said today, once we've had vaccines and it's all over, it won't go back to normal. Just to try to...
they keep on trying to flog this vaccine theory, don't they, all the time? But why do we need a vaccine for something that 99.99% of us it doesn't affect?
Yeah, but wait, do you know if you've got symptoms and you test positive for this disease, it go on for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it. You isolate for 2 weeks and it disappears. Or you wash it off your body with soap and water.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's crazy. To quarantine like 90% of the population is actually criminal, I think. That's my own personal. That's my personal opinion.
Can I put my 2 pence into it?
Absolutely, Juliette.
And I want to see what you both think of this. Christmas just gone, and I was at work.
Christmas 2019. Yep.
Christmas, yeah, that would help, wouldn't it? I was at work. It was the 21st of December. It was a Friday, and I had a sore throat, and I thought, oh God, no, I'm getting Christmas cold, right? And I went home, got some Lucasade, because Lucasade is a wonderful, wonderful drink.
It is, yeah, it picks you up, doesn't it? Yeah.
It does actually.
I missed years ago, didn't
Oh, with the cellophane wrapper. But let's just say, as Friday progressed, I felt crap. Crap is an understatement. Think of some adjectives and throw them in. And as the days progressed, couldn't taste anything, lack of appetite, the cough from hell, chesty cough. You know all the wonderful symptoms we have now? I had those. I couldn't lie down to sleep. If I did, I'd stop breathing. That was fun.
Yeah.
But I've had flu. And if you've ever had flu, it floors you.
Yeah, which is exactly what this is.
It wasn't flu, but it was flu. It was a different kind of And the more people I've spoken to from between Christmas, obviously, and now, oh my God, I had that.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Everybody had it.
I'll tell you what.
We all had Christmas.
I was going to say, last November, I actually had a flu jab, right? I would say, around about a week after I had that flu jab, I went down with the most god-awful cold and everything that, and I went to bed for a couple of days, and I had all this, chest infection and everything, which lasted it lasted well into the new year. Just before Christmas, I went down with it again. So I had two doses of it before Christmas. Just after Christmas, I went in the new year, probably around February time, I went down with it again. So I had 3 doses. 3 doses of a really bad cold, which put me to bed for a couple of days. In fact, I don't know, you might have even heard a couple of shows I did. I was quite actually, coughing and spluttering. I think that was in early this year. But yeah, I've had 3 doses. And I've said I'm not going to have that flu jab anymore. It put me right off of it. I can't swear it was that, but I think it. I just think it was.
There's been flu jabs for 70 years, and people still die of flu every year, don't they? Yeah. Thousands. My
wife had the same. My wife suffers with asthma, Jill, and she really has to have that flu jab. I wouldn't tell her not to take it, but she's going to take it this year, but she's not really keen on it, because she had exactly the same. She went down with this bad cold as well, and I've heard several other people say the same thing. So whether there was a bad strain of this flu jab, I don't know, but it's put me right off it anyway.
I'd love to know if I had it at Christmas, because it took me probably about 4 to 6 weeks afterwards to get rid of the chesty cough. I've always suffered from chest infections anyway, but that goes back to when I used to smoke. I felt like death.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't surprise me, because they've got this COVID test that they do, which we all know is inaccurate, but 93% of it is false positives. This is where getting all these high figures from. And they've even said the government's even said it themselves, haven't they? Although they don't make it too obvious on the news channels. Probably if we had
7% of them are true positives.
Yeah.
Like that Dominic Ab.
Yeah. Yeah, 93% he said are false positives. So really, you might as well say the whole lot are, because how do you sort out the 7% that are not?
Yeah. What about all them have come back positive?
Yeah. I mean, let's put it like
they've all got to isolate as well, or for false positive. It's just.
I mean, imagine you had garages turning out MOTs like we have in the UK, MOT for your car, and 93% of them were turning out false positives. They'd shut them all down, wouldn't they?
I tell you what's a proper humdinger what they've done to us, and people. I don't know if it's just me being total paranoid.
Hello, he's gone again. Oh,
but,
he's gone again.
I heard a voice before. Something weird.
I can hear like a buzzing noise.
Yeah.
But a different buzzing noise, not like background noise, but
like if someone's got phone up upstairs and you're on it, that kind of like open line buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it's like.
Yeah, we just got to live with it. I'll see if I can tweak. I'll tweak it afterwards. Hopefully.
Yeah. So they've got them to put the masks on, and more and more over say last week, people are saying they're wearing this mask and they're getting bacterial lung infection.
Yeah.
And they're thinking the symptoms are the same as the COVID. Putting it in the apps, then they've got to self-isolate. But it's the masks what's giving them it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it speaks for itself. I mean, there's supposed to be more people wearing masks, and yet the figures are going out. How does that work out?
Yeah. How do cases go up when no one can get a test? That's what gets me.
Yeah. It's just so crazy. I just don't get it. But
it's and one day to next to saying something totally different. But they've all been paid by Bill Gates to fucking narrative, haven't they? Nuts. All for sustainable development with great reset. So that's all it's about, isn't it? For money, big money men making big money at our expense.
Yeah, and they did as well, didn't they? They made billions, didn't they? All the
billions. Yeah, Amazon made billions as well, didn't they?
Yeah.
Like if you look at what we were watching the other day, they were on Victoria Street in London, and there's that Gates building, and that's who's running the show, really, isn't it? Bill Gates. That's who owns this country, I reckon.
Allegedly, yeah.
Allegedly. Not that I have any proof on it, but I'd say it's more true than not. It's not a conspiracy, anyway.
No, I mean, he's obviously behind. I mean, we do actually see when he says it himself, doesn't he? That talking about vaccines and everything. So, and everything else, everyone else says these vaccines keeps coming out of it. So, it's quite obvious who's behind it all. Oh, excuse me, my throat's gone. But yeah, how it's all going to come out in the end, I don't know. If anyone's going to be taken to court over it, I hope so.
I think what they're trying to do is, like me and Mikey were speaking about it, they need to squeeze us. You know, like any being on this planet, from a big elephant to a little ant, you poke it enough times and it's going to try and bite you, innit?
Yeah.
So that's what they need to do to populations for us to fight back.
Yeah.
We've got to fight back.
Well,
it's interesting for Vendetta on Netflix.
Yeah. It does seem that the tide is turning on that. I mean, I know there's still a lot of people that don't know really what's going on. And we can't be too, to make ourselves look too clever to say, we know everything that's going on. Because I don't think even you and I know what's going on really, Andy, do we? But we do try to look at things and try to work things out. And things just ain't right out there, We are being, I would say we are being lied to for what we hear on the television.
Like a propaganda machine, like say for instance, ISIS propaganda machine. BBC News and Sky News is exactly the same as that, innit? Because they're terrified us. Yeah. So are they it's a terrorist organisation, isn't it?
Well, I've got to say, the ITV, BBC and Sky, they seem to be reading from the same script. They use the same terminology all the time.
Yeah, Mockingbird, isn't it?
Yeah.
All by design, and the sheep just don't see it, but us lions, we do.
Yeah.
Not joking, I've got Tourette's over it all, I just can't keep my gob shut.
No, I think we'll get a bit annoyed about it all, and unfortunately it's actually dividing. It's one of these division things again as well, isn't it? Where the government keeps putting all these dividers in between people. It's black and white, male and female, and you've got then the in-betweenies and everything else, and we're all supposed, you've got to hate Trump or you don't hate Trump. It's forever putting all these dividers in.
Yeah, so we fight itself, and we don't realise who the enemy is, because it's us versus them, really.
Yeah, and of course now it's got your mask. Then you've got your mask wearers and your non-mask wearers now, and then you've got to tell on your neighbour if someone's having more than 6 people around their house. Forever they're doing it, and people don't seem to realise the game they're playing.
Yeah, what was that girl called who was the grass? Don't know what were her name there.
The who?
What was she called? I can't think of her name in Nazi Germany. What was?
Oh, the diary, you mean?
Yeah, the grass.
Anne Frank's diary, is it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. See, that's what the one is like. It's like Eastern Germany now. You can't do no. You can't go see your grandma.
No.
But anywhere what's got a till, you can because you're lining their pockets.
Yeah. And also
he won't answer questions today.
Yeah, I know. Well, say today, when this goes out, it's next week. But so if you're listening today, it was last week.
Yeah, last week.
But we even had Johnson coming out saying about. Oh no, it wasn't Johnson, was it? It was bloody Hancock talking about no cancer operations will be done until they sort COVID out. So there's going to be.
So that's the 77 other cancer patients who hadn't had the treatment.
Yeah.
And they're putting COVID on it because they had a positive test within 28 days.
So that's another load of people they'll kill off.
Yeah. It's barbaric, isn't it? I can't understand why people aren't getting in the cars now and driving to Westminster and pulling them all out and hanging them up like lampposts.
Yeah, well, give it time.
But when furlough's finished and no one's got any jobs, that's when the proverbial...
Well, that's happening now.
Yeah, well, it's started to happen now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's happening now.
Well, I did say right at the beginning of all this, with all these lockdowns, I said it will actually cause civil unrest. It's just obvious, and I think that's what they want.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like for martial law and stuff like that. Can you remember that movie what never come out?
That what? That never came out.
Sorry.
There were a movie what was supposed to have been released about all FEMA camps, New World Order, all stuff like that, called The Grey State, and the director and all his family were murdered.
Oh right, yeah, no.
And that were exactly the same as what it is now. How it's all played out. No food in shops. Even as far as toilet roll, I still don't understand that now. Why people have stockpiled on toilet roll, but I don't know.
No.
What a bizarre world we live in.
Well, no, I figured it out. I know who's buying the toilet roll. It's the models.
Hey?
Come on.
Models, think about it. They need to stay slim so they don't eat, so they eat toilet roll.
Well, I thought it was because when one person sneezes, 100 people shit themselves.
Oh well, I've got to bleep that out now.
I do apologise.
No, I think we can do
can't
it.
believe
I'll
not
tell you
heard that
what.
about models.
Let's get back on the UFOs before we start going off all over the place. Now, you've done a lot of stuff. You're a good friend of Paul Sinclair's. Obviously,
yeah.
I've got him on next week for the show. He's got 3 great books out, Truth Proof. Now, you've had experiences with Paul as well, haven't you?
I have, yeah. Up Bempton RAF base is probably like the UK's Skinwalker Ranch. It's the strange things what happen up there are unreal. Me and Paul once stood on like a viewing platform and we seen, I'm not joking, something what looked like a pantomime horse in the darkness, walk past. Yeah, absolutely crazy. Me and Paul were trying to work out in his head what it was, and we come up with this theory that it could have been SAS practicing,
What in a pantomime horse?
That's what it looked like in the darkness. Like someone were in front and someone else were holding on to him at back.
Weird,
so that's what kind of shape it was. I've seen darkness move behind Paul and all sorts up there. Got cryptids laid on the floor, bars of light in base doorway. We once went up there with a spiritualist woman, I can never remember her name. Paul will probably tell you if you ask her. And we were stood near the big open field, and there were a big wood at the side of it, and she said to me, can you see the aura of the trees? And I looked and I said no, and she says, have another look. So I looked, and now I can see it all the time, no matter what tree I look at, if you know what I mean.
Oh right, you can see it, yeah.
All the way around it, yeah. It's bizarre. And we were up there with that lady and her son. Paul were trying to stop. He said he could hear screaming in his head, at Bempton, and he wanted to throw himself off the cliff. This is no exaggeration.
Really?
Paul, screaming in his head. He were on some spectrum, autistic or something like that. But it had a definite effect over him when he were up Bempton. And I was stood with this lady, looking at the doorway of the RAF base, on Hill, and a big bar of light just appeared, in the doorway. It must have looked at it for 5 minutes, just glowing bar of light in it, and then it just twisted out of view. And if you look on YouTube and have a look for the Bempton phenomena, I talk about it on there.
Yeah, I've got the DVD of that. You can actually buy it, can't you? I'll have to.
Elusive and bringing down the light as well. That is.
Yeah. Yeah, because what I'll do, I'll put a few links and things on the Paranormal Dimensions Facebook page. I'll put a few pictures of you and all that. I'll put in your office and stuff like that. So,
this is my where I reside to get away from the world in here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've all got to have our little... You've probably got your man cave, haven't you, Juliette? If we can call it that.
Man cave. No, I do actually. It's the box room. Do you remember when I sent you the video of some of my books?
Yeah.
It's only a box room, but it's got the books, it's got the computer, it's got, you know, my pictures, and yeah. I've just gone off on a tangent. This is relevant, right? Obviously with all these UFO phenomenon going on, do you think, gents, that mediums have been predicting this for quite a while? What are your thoughts?
Predicting coronavirus or
that, and you know with the spacecraft, etc., etc. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think there's a correlation?
Possibly, yeah, because I like the side of the the remote viewing.
Yeah.
So like someone's saying something, hasn't there? Someone's preempted something happening. Like we say, like Anunnaki and all stuff like that. Someone must have more of an inkling than us loonies, if you know what I mean.
I mean, I'm thinking Philip Kinsella, but that's, you know.
Oh, most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he was on the show last week because he's talking about his new book. But I don't really, I don't know. I can't really say that, in my experience, that mediums have been talking about it.
Yeah, everything's just a dimensional entity, though, isn't it? You know, from like a ghost to alien. It's just someone what's given it that label, isn't it?
Yeah, we're all spiritual beings. I agree. Yeah.
All dimensional, extra dimensional, and interdimensional. It's all frequency.
Yeah.
It's all.
It's like I had Frank Willis on a couple of shows back as well, and he was talking about everything's got a positive and a negative. So if you've got evil, you've got to have good. So and they all bounce off of each other. So I would say that all this stuff that's going on with COVID and any other sort of things that you'd say is evil, there's probably things or people or spirit, whatever you want to call it, on the other side trying to help us sort it out. And there's probably a big fight between good and evil going on all around us.
Yeah, definitely. It's these. Do you know like the G7 watch just turned to D10?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that? And it's strange how all them countries are having all the same thing, like Australia and Canada and
oh yeah, it's
all an orchestration, isn't it?
It's all been centrally organised. Yeah, I agree with you. It's just to like they say, that China was the big experiment in the first place, wasn't it? They've been wearing masks and things for years in the Orient, and they've just got so used to it they just do it all the time. And some of those places are so heavy with pollution anyway. So whether those masks help out there or not, I don't know, because they still have all their chest infections and things anyway.
You know what fascinates me most about it all? I know they're trying to bring in the New World Order, but the last part of the New World Order for one world government, one world religion, and everything what goes with it is Project Bluebeam. That's the end bit of it, isn't it? And we're all being drip fed, like when Blake's on Mars and Venus and Free Craft, Fruit Pentagon, and everything that they keep telling us, like little drip feeds, holographic fake alien invasion. What?
Hello, it's gone again.
I don't know.
Getting juicy, it disappears, doesn't it?
It does.
It does, yeah. Yes,
so,
it seems to.
With Project Bluebeam, Peggy Crane said it will be just like Nazi Germany. You'll get on you'll either go on the ships or in the tunnels and eat whichever one you choose. It'll be an extermination, because according to them Georgian guidestones, there's a lot of people what needs to die. But Peggy Crane says, just stay where you are. Just don't move, just stay where you are. But for me, being into UFOs all my life, and people thinking, I'm a loon and this and that, and then there's big crafts in the sky, and I'm saying to them, no, these aren't real, but you said they were real. Yeah, but these ones aren't real. But they're in the sky, they're there. Yeah, but, and try to explain that.
Yeah.
It's, see, that's another thing with like this, you know, being into UFOs since I've been a kid and everything else what goes with it. The ridicule what I've sustained is unreal. I'd say it ruined my life and changed me, well, made me the person I am, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Because constant ridicule, I've never fit in any group, I've never had lots of friends, and I've always been laughed at, and I'm 40 years old. From being, you know, all through school, everything, because of the things what I come out with. Even as an 11-year-old, before internet, all like that, I was telling my mum's friends about Muslim uprising. Not that I'm racist or all like that, because I'm from Bradford, and my best man at my wedding was an Asian guy, if you know what I mean. So I'm not racist at all, but I just, or any religion or all like that, it's irrelevant to me.
I mean, the thing is, I mean, it's only a minority of them anyway. It's the same as like, in anything. We've got bad, good and bad of everyone, and normally it's the minority anyway, isn't it?
Terrorism seems to have stopped now, though, doesn't it? For some reason.
Yeah, that's funny enough. I mentioned that last week on the show. where have they all gone?
Yeah, what's happened there?
Yeah.
But yeah, with ridicule what comes with it, it's ruined my life. You know, it meant insecurities and, you know, stuff like that, and you think you're mad. You know, when you're trying to, you know, go through life and work out what you're experiencing and observing and
yeah, but the thing was, Andy, you were true to yourself. If you were actually to actually say, oh no, well, all right, I'll say I didn't see all that thing. You'd be lying to yourself, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Well, anyone who knows me, you know, just knows I can't shut up. It's people tell me to shut up, but it's just it's my perception on reality, and I just can't help but tell people of my experience of it, because it's just bizarre. Everything's just bizarre.
Yeah. Oh, I know exactly where you're coming from.
From birth till now.
Do you find though that as let's say in the past couple of years, that this, be it UFOs, ghosts, etc., people are now being more receptive, they're opening their eyes, their ears, etc., etc. I think they are, personally. I agree with what you just said, yeah.
Most definitely, yeah. Because years ago, it was cool, you know, to be a bit quirky into, he thinks there's chemicals, all sorts, you know, and people just left me alone. And, see, I'm a tipper driver, and for the last 5 years, my job has closed me off a little bit, because 5 years ago I was a lot worse. I just couldn't shut up at all. I used to scare little old women in queue in Tesco. Because I'm a tipper driver, and it's a manly job, if you know what I mean. So man is in, well, basically what I'm trying to say is, the people who I work with on building sites and stuff like that, if I say something about, I don't know, for instance, aspartame or something weird, or UFOs, or you know, something where they don't really, well, the natural involuntary reaction to what I've just said to them is to laugh at me, and everybody else who's with them are laughing at me as well, if you know what I mean. But
everyone's been programmed. Everyone's been programmed to do that by the media, haven't they?
Yeah, it's you've got to laugh at them. That's like with CIA and even the word conspiracy theory is just to discredit someone trying to tell the truth. But yeah, I've had it all my life. It's crazy. He's a divvy. He's nuts. Don't listen to him. But it all come true. Everything's all come, like New World of chemicals in your food.
Yeah. I mean,
everything
I've only got to refer to, I mean, I know there's people that don't like David Icke, but you've only got to refer to David Icke. Now, a lot of stuff he's been talking about for 30 years, it's all coming true.
There's a couple of forums at minute on Facebook and really trying to discredit the Icks. Like it be David Icke Mysteries and Synchronicities. And the guy what made that group is just hammering him, you know, saying he's a shell suit wearing lunatic, and you know, there's no fact with it or out like that. So I joined it, mate.
Yeah, I don't think he's worn a shell suit for about 30 years.
But they can only get him on stuff like that, though. You can't have a...
I think everyone was wearing them then, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember having one. I pulled it all off, and it looked, all shell suit, and it looked like jammers with coloured cups.
I think I had a jacket. I never had the trousers or the suit of that, but I did have a lot of jacket like it was like a shell suit. So we all had them back then. So
Yeah.
Stuff like that. It were beyond the curve, wasn't it?
yeah.
Still.
I mean, I've got to say, even myself, it's only been the last sort of maybe 7 years that I've thought myself, this bloke actually knows what he's talking about. Before that, I was actually going by what the media was telling me, the older bloke's a nutter and everything like that. But when you actually start reading some of the stuff and you start listening to him properly, yeah, he's no nutter. He actually knows what he's talking about. I'm not saying he's right on everything. No, same as...
That's really... You're breaking up when you talk David. Now you're breaking up talking about David Icke.
I'm breaking up, am I? Oh, right.
Yeah. Your house.
Sounds all right here. It sounds like I'll see it.
Oh, right.
But
It's possessed.
we'll have to see how it comes out, how the recording comes out. But yeah, I mean, like you say, it's a lot of what he said is actually coming true, and he's not as nutty as people say he is. And if anyone out there really has never listened to him or read any books, I would actually advise you to go and have take a deeper look.
Yeah. Look, do your own research. Yeah, research and destroy. That's all.
Yeah.
That's what I
Just
do.
because somebody tells you that someone's a nutcase, don't just listen to them. Go and do your own research.
And make your own assumption on it.
Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, have you got anything planned? You got any outings with Paul?
Well, since all this lockdown and everything's been going on and that, I haven't really had time to do anything because when I come home from work and my wife goes to work, because they seem to have us in a system now where you're still suffering when both of you are working.
Yeah.
So we've got to. So me and my wife are like passing ships.
Yeah.
But as soon as we get a chance, we take
I do know that feeling from the past. Hello, there's a funny noise again. That's weird. But, yeah. I mean, because Paul's got a new book out called Shadow People, which we'll be talking about more next week.
Night People.
Night People.
Yeah.
That's right, yeah, Night People. I
People.
beg your pardon. No, I'll tell you what. Sorry, I've got Night People and Shadow People written next door to each other. It's alright. Because you were talking about Shadow People earlier. That's right. It's alright, that's me. Don't worry about it. But yes, Night People is his new book, which we'll be talking about next week a little bit more. But
That's really interesting stories as well.
yeah, you've got some amazing stuff in it. Unfortunately, I've packed my copy because I'm supposed to be moving soon, and I thought I'd be moved by now, so I've packed my copy away, and I can't get to it. I don't know what box it's in now, so anyway. So
I've got Truth Proof 1, 2 and 3 and Night People, all signed in pristine condition.
yeah. And we're all very proud of him. I'm very proud of Paul, actually. He's done very well for himself.
It's Paul is one of my very, very good friends, and me and Paul have sat on cliffs and spoke about my anxiety and all sorts of, you know what I mean, like a life coach, we look at monsters in fields and stuff like that, but like as a friend, Paul's an excellent person.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, obviously, if I lived up your way or up that way, I think if Paul is the sort of person I'd like to have as a friend, sort of thing myself. Because he's just that type of guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very, very friendly personality. Everything.
Yeah.
Top bloke, as people would say.
Yeah, I've a great deal of respect for him. He's a nice chap. Anyway, I suppose you got anything more to say, Juliette? I suppose we better wind it up there.
I've just found it absolutely fascinating. So, thank you, Andy. Much appreciated.
Thank you very much.
No, I've been a bit cheeky and sent you a friend request. If you accept, that'd be fabulous. No pressure.
No problem.
You've not got it already? All right. Oh, yeah, so there you go. It's another friend you've made.
I've got all screens open. Let's have a look.
To me, it's like, I'd love to see someday. I think I remember saying this to Paul, actually, and I said, I've never seen anything. And he went, have you asked? And I went, Yeah.
It's strange, isn't it? I know what
I'm not asking hard enough of it. I'd love to see something. So, I love history. So to me, I think there's synchronicity in the history. So when I meet somebody new, beat you, David, when we didn't know each other, which was funny, or somebody like you, Andy, to me, it's just like, it's a learning curve.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm here to learn.
I think, as they say, you got to keep looking up and looking around you and sort of...
Just give us a show then. Just stood in your garden on your own, if you're stood in your back garden, having a cig, just looking up, just have a look and have a listen.
I mean, I live Blackpool, so I've got the coast literally 5 minutes drive, if that. So, to me, I'm like, anything. But
have you seen? I suppose some people could say it's very similar. Have you seen that film? What the bleep do we know about quantum physics?
Yes.
When it's on about that Indian on that beach, and he wants to see that ship, and he wants to see it, and he wants to see it, and he wants to see it, and he sees it because he's manifesting his own reality. But I suppose you could see, because I want to see UFOs all the time, if you know what I mean. And I seem to see them out of the corner of my eye, or something moves, or I'll see 3 orbs go across, or big flashes in the darkness of space, and like when I've seen that disc and that orbs in rods and like spider webs, upside down rainbows and all sorts. It's just, my eyes must be on that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've got my own theories on it. You know what I actually think? I think they're actually there a lot of the time anyway, but they've got like cloaking mechanisms, and sometimes that cloaking mechanism kind of slips, or you become aware of it and you'll be able to look beyond it. That's what
it's all emotional and all stuff like that, isn't it? So the cosmic connections to, individuals, and I reckon it's a lot like that.
Yeah.
Like, you think you've heard a voice, or like it's invention messes with you. It plays tricks with you. It's all that paranormal stuff. I'd say aware of you as well. If you're aware of that, it's also aware of you. Like Paul says, it's paranormal soup.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've heard this several times, that people can actually kind of call them, or some of them, whichever words you want to use. And, whether that happened with me, I don't know, because the one I saw in 67, or 66, I think it was, I don't know, I wasn't actually summoning it, but it could be that it was in my psyche, so I don't know, it's weird.
Like with lucid dreams and stuff like that. See, I didn't say it at the beginning, but when I was a kid, I had this strange lucid dream, and my bedroom vibrated, and I stood up off my bed, walked down the landing, all the house still vibrating. Like on that film Contact with Jodie Foster, it's all going vibrating like that. So I went down the steps, out the door, through the kitchen, out the front door, and I looked up, and there were big blue and white blocks what filled the sky. It was that big, it made me feel sick. That's how I'm just trying to, get descriptive of it. It was massive. In front of the shed, I could see it clear as day. Now we're about 6 or 7. And I remember looking up and seeing it float across the sky. Only moving slowly, say 10 miles an hour. It was just moving slow. And that's all I can remember of the lucid dream. I can't remember going back in or out like that. So it could have been, it's real to your brain, isn't it? Because it's no different as a memory in my head as me being at work today.
Yeah.
That's how much it's stuck, and I'm 40 years old now and I can remember it second.
Yeah, you just reminded me of something, of a dream I had quite a few years back, and that must have been like a lucid dream, but it felt real, and I remember waking up, and it was as if someone was telling me it's all in the vibrations, and it was like a laugh, and as it sort of ended, that's when I woke up. And I thought, was somebody telling me something in the dream? Because why would I be thinking about, dreaming about someone telling me it's all in the vibrations? It was strange, and it felt so real at the time.
Well, I used to have a recurring dream, and I went to hospital over panic attacks with this, to be fair. I used to have a dream where I had to follow the white rabbit, bizarre. experiences and all stuff like that, and I had to follow the white rabbit. But when the yellow rabbit come, it turned to like a nightmare when the yellow rabbit come. But I could tell when it were coming because my heart used to beat out of my chest. You know, like it'd be like a fairy tale. You'd been frolicking in fields chasing the white rabbit, and then the yellow one would come. Yeah, we're in hospital for panic attacks and all sorts as a kid over this yellow rabbit and dreams, and I've been a strange kid, me, and all sorts of. But I'm still strange now. It's just who I am, I suppose.
Did you ever talk to teachers about those things? Did you ever write things in like when you have to write a story or something about anything?
When I seen that shadow thing in the corner, I wrote about that, but I'd not really wrote stories about.
No, I just wondered how your teachers might have reacted to it when you related those stories to them.
Yeah, not really. No, it wasn't because when you're in your school years, anything what's going to make someone laugh at it's
that's true.
You try to avoid it.
Yeah, you end up, but you make yourself a target for bullying and stuff like that, don't you? Yeah.
Yeah, and I never fit in any group at school anyway. There were cool kids and in-betweeners, and there wasn't no room for me, if you know what I mean. Because I was busy watching X-Files and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
I must admit, in the office, when I sort of talked about, because my college, don't laugh, they only did it for a year. They actually did an accredited A-level in parapsychology. It's real, and I was like, they've never done it since. I've never seen anything like that advertised anywhere else. And it was like, alright. And people at work would leave little clippings on my desk about like a ghost story or Loch Ness Monster. So in one respect, I think the older I've got, for me, it's been more accepted. I know I'm weird. I will hold my hand up. I actually am holding my hand up. And I'll go, yeah, I'm freaky uniquey.
Why do you think I'll get you on this show?
I know. But it's a good, to me, I'm like, this is what I like. I love my history, my heritage, my spooky, my whatever. Take it or leave it.
Yeah. That's right. I mean, I think we're all like that, aren't we? You either take me or you leave me. That's it. If you don't, you know.
If you disagree with my thoughts, fair comment.
Yeah, I'll be like that for years.
Insult me.
Since March, I've lost lots of friends on Facebook, mate.
Yeah, which is a shame, isn't it? Because this COVID thing has actually destroyed quite a few friendships. Purposely, I think, as well, again.
Yeah, but in March, those what fell out are saying the same things as, you know, people were saying before. Now. So it's like, me and Mikey call it the pendulum perspective.
Ooh.
The only... which way everybody else is following, like a Man United supporter.
Get a book written with that title, right? We've said it, so that's your new book title.
Pendulum perspective. Yeah.
Oh, but just I can see the artwork now.
Yeah, right, with Paul or something.
Yeah.
Well, we don't. Between me and Mike, we're always on about, you know, the craziness of like pendulum perspectives, and we don't call them sheep, we call them jellyfish. It's because they're 90% water and no brain.
Yeah.
I'm thinking this visually.
Anyway, all the complaints that get sent in, Andy, who can I get them sent to? No, I mean,
send them to me. I'm part of the Illuminati, remember?
And I'm a Black Templar cult member.
Yay!
Now, really, have you got a Facebook UFO page, haven't you?
Yeah, East Yorkshire UFO Hunters it is. Yeah, it's quite. There's some big names on there. You know, some credible individuals, and everyone all posts, and you know, everyone's nice. Nobody gives anyone any grief or like. No one argues, because on a lot of them, it's just trolls everywhere, isn't it? You can't say no.
Well, normally they get thrown off anyway if they start all that. But yeah, I was just so that's the East Yorkshire UFO group. So
yeah, East Yorkshire UFO Hunters.
So if anyone wants to take a look at Andy's group on Facebook, You can you got a few pictures of you on there, so you'll know what you look like. But
Oh yeah. I'm the crazy guy with the video camera. It's on my profile as well.
Yeah, there'll be pictures. There'll be pictures on. There'll be pictures on the Paranormal Dimensions page anyway. Anyway, thanks, Andy. That's been a great talk, and you, Juliette, I think it's been enjoyable, isn't it? Once again.
Oh, good God.
What with all the
thank you both.
the funny
there you are.
Well, the funny noises on the thing as well. But, I don't know what's going on there. Be interested to listen to the recording in a minute.
Yeah, bit of EVP. I've approved you as well. Yeah. Oh, sound very good.
Yeah, right. Okay, we'll end it there. Thanks, Sandy, and it's been a pleasure having you on. And
yeah, thank you very much, David, and thank you very much, Juliette. It's been cool.
Yeah, hopefully we'll meet up. We would have met up already this year, but unfortunately the conference was cancelled. So we'll see you next year, no doubt.
Yeah, we'll see you next year. They'll be back, won't they?
Yeah. It'll all be back. Hopefully. if we've not all been bumped off by the Illuminati, but
yeah, all the back.
Oh, there's another funny noise. What's going on with these noises? Right.
Rattlesnake, that wasn't it? Lizard.
Yeah, that was weird.
Oh my God.
Right, okay, I'm going to wind it up there. Thanks, Juliette and Andy. Good night to you, and thanks for coming on. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah, cheers, Andy. And you've been listening to Paranormal Dimensions on the Paranormal UK Radio Network. I'm David Young. Thanks very much for listening, and I apologise for all the noises, but hope you'll join us again next week. Thank you. Bye-bye.
For me, this is the kind of show that I like doing most, where you basically just have a freewheeling discussion, have a chance to go off on topics. That's what's going to make you an outstanding player in the field. Just keep doing it.
Paranormal Dimensions is as bright and powerful as our celestial star, the sun. And although it's expending thousands of pounds of energy every minute of the day, have no fear. There's plenty left.
Paranormal Dimensions is a regular feature on Mondays on the Paranormal UK Radio Network.